Welcome to this video. Today, you're going to expand your vocabulary and add a really great natural adjective to your vocabulary that you can get lots of use of. And that adjective is harsh. Of course, I'm Jennifer from jforcesenglish.com, and this channel is dedicated to helping you sound like a fluent, confident, natural English speaker. Now, before we go any further, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell icon so you're notified every time I post a new lesson. Now, let's dive in with this video. Harsh. Now, harsh as an adjective, this means unpleasant, unkind, or mean. So it's a negative adjective. Now, it has a related but different meaning, and it can also mean more severe than necessary. But if something's more severe than necessary, you can think of it, that definitely sounds unpleasant, or maybe the person is being unkind or mean. So they're related, but just slightly different. So keep in mind these two separate but related meanings. So let's see this in some example sentences. So let's imagine this kid, he is new at the company and he just graduated school. It's his very first job. He's a junior employee. And this guy is a senior employee and he's supposed to be mentoring this junior employee, okay? But let's imagine this kid just submitted his first assignment. And remember, new employee. He's new to the workforce because he just transitioned from student to workforce, okay? New to the workforce, new employee. And let's imagine that this senior employee looked at this report and just started criticizing it. Just, this is wrong, why didn't you do that? Why didn't you do this? Just totally criticizing it. Now, maybe after his coworker could say something like, that was really harsh. Remember, harsh, unkind, unpleasant. That was really harsh. Now you might be wondering, what's the that? So that in this case would be his words. His words were really harsh. The way you spoke to this kid, the feedback that you gave him was really harsh. So that could be different things. Your treatment of this kid, your conversation with him was really harsh. Now, we could also use this to describe a person. So instead of saying your feedback was harsh, we could say you were really harsh. You were really mean, unpleasant, unkind. You were really harsh. Here's another example. He was late once and was fired without warning. That was harsh. So this is that second meaning. More severe than necessary. Late once, and he was fired without any kind of warning. That punishment is severe, likely more severe than necessary. That was harsh. And in this case, that I would say is the punishment, the fact that he was fired. The punishment was really harsh. Now, we could also describe the boss as the person and say you were really harsh. The fact that you fired this kid for being late once was harsh. One more example. People living in remote northern communities have to endure some harsh conditions. Remember, harsh is an adjective. So here is describing conditions. Remote is another way to say isolated. Isolated means you're all alone, okay? So let's say you're in a northern community and the conditions are really harsh. They're unpleasant, unkind. Well, first of all, what could that mean? Conditions. Weather. The weather would be one of them. Let's say in a northern community, it could be really cold, like -40. That is harsh. That is unpleasant, right? harsh conditions, the weather, or their living conditions could be harsh, unpleasant. They probably don't have good access to stores. They probably don't have good access to internet, things like that. The infrastructure, the quality of the roads, all of those would be really, really harsh. And because of that, life in general, living in a remote community can be very harsh, unpleasant. A couple notes with this adjective before we move on. Now, as I said, it's commonly used to describe someone, but I just want this to be very clear. So in this case, it would be to be harsh. You need the verb to be here. I can say, my boss is really harsh, unpleasant, unkind, mean. I could also say, you're being really harsh. Now, think about this. What would be the difference between here, my verb tense in the present simple, and this one, my verb tense in the present continuous? You're being really harsh. Now, in this case, if it's the present simple, this is just in general, all the time. This is a fact of your personality. But if I say you're being really harsh, it would be specific to right now. Right now, in this specific circumstance, you're being really harsh, but maybe that isn't your general personality. That's just what's happening right now. So just notice we can use this in both the present simple for an in general personality trait, and then the present continuous for a personality trait that's happening right now. All right, so now it's your turn to practice. I want you to leave an example in the comments below using harsh. And since this is commonly used with people, why don't you use it to describe a person? That would be a really great natural way to use it. And until next time, happy studying. All right, awesome job adding this really natural adjective to your vocabulary. Remember, there's lots of different ways you can use it, so get comfortable with all those different ways and leave your example in the comments below, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.